You don't actually need to hear every word in order to fully understand what someone's saying in Spanish. So that's why in this video, I'm going to share with you the basics of one of my favorite listening methods that no one teaches until right now. All you have to do is master how to catch clues. And get this, once you see it, I guarantee your ears will work differently from here on out. I call it the Wheel of Fortune method. Let's get into it. Now, before I show you how the Wheel of Fortune method works, I need to prove something to you. You see, the problem isn't your knowledge of Spanish, nor is it your vocabulary, and it isn't your ear. It's actually the way you were taught to listen. So let's see if in about 60 seconds I can prove it to you. Check this out. Most learners think listening works like this. You hear every word, you translate every word, then that way you understand the sentence. That's not at all how listening works. Not even in English. Mira, if I said to you right now, yeah, so I was at the, and she, but he didn't even, what would you do? That's exactly right. You'd fill in the gaps. You wouldn't panic. You'd catch the pieces you could and then build the message that you think you heard. You see, that's exactly what your brain does in English every single day. But the moment Spanish hits your ears, what happens? Exacto. Something changes. It's at that moment you stop being a detective and you all of a sudden start being a perfectionist. ¿Y sabes qué? That is the exact moment you lose the sentence. It's this mindset shift that changes everything. And the Wheel of Fortune method I'm about to show you makes it automatic. Bueno, this is why I call it the Wheel of Fortune method. Maybe you've seen the show. Maybe you haven't. That's okay. Here's the only thing you need to know. It's a classic game show where the contestants have to solve a hidden phrase. But here's the trick. They never see the whole phrase. They spin a roulette wheel, which earns them money or prizes as they reveal a few letters at a time after guessing the correct letter. And they use those few letters to figure out the rest. That is exactly how strong listening works in Espanol. I'm telling you, you don't need every word. You need enough clues to solve the message. All you need are these three moves: catch clues, predict meaning, and confirm. That's the whole system. However, each one of those moves has a rule. Now, if you skip a rule, ay, pobrecito, the method will fall apart. So let me walk you through these crucial 6 steps. El primer paso, listen once, without stopping. No rewinding, no translating, no panicking. Your only job is to catch clues. Paso número 2, name the clues out loud. Even if you only caught 3 things, say them. I heard mañana. I heard voy a. I heard trabajo. Bueno, that is your puzzle board. Y paso número 3, predict the message. Mira, it does not have to be perfect, ever. You just need to be in the right neighborhood, close enough. So pause for the cause and say to yourself, this is probably something about going to work tomorrow. Because that guess, that's what actually trains your ear. Paso número 4, listen again. Escucha otra vez. Now at this point, you're not starting from zero. You have a tested hypothesis. But what you're conducting at this moment is having your brain hunt for confirmation, not just hearing noise. Paso número 5, confirm or adjust. In other words, was I close? What did I miss? What's clearer now? These are crucial questions for you to ask yourself. Paso número 6, check the transcript. Now this is super important, only at the end. I'm talking subtitles, transcripts, teacher, whatever the source. I want you to compare that, with what was actually said. You see, that's where your ear is actually starting to grow. Hey, real quick, if you're gaining value from today's video, be sure to like it, hype it, and share it with someone you know who's trying to become a more confident and better Spanish speaker. Now, let's get back to the video. So peep this, I want to be perfectly clear here. The Wheel of Fortune method is how you train your ear and your mind to work together in sync. when it comes to understanding spoken Spanish. Te prometo, once you get the hang of this, you can transfer this method over to real conversations in record timing in your mind. That's why coming up, I'm going to work through some ejemplos with you. Think of it like your training, kind of like Daniel-san, when he first showed up to Mr. Miyagi's house ready to learn karate, as they say. And what happened? Mr. Miyagi started him off with what? Basic steps, wax on, wax off on the cars, paint the fence, the basics, right? And so that's the same thing we're gonna do here. Now check this out. Let's test the Wheel of Fortune method out with some real examples. I'm going to give you 3 Spanish phrases, each one more challenging than the one before it. And I bet you're going to catch more than you think. Now, before you hear it, make sure you have all 6 steps ready to go. La primera oración. Voy a comer con mi familia esta noche. Okay, first time you heard it, what did you catch? Maybe a voy a, familia, noche? That's 3 clues. Ahora, what's the message probably about? Maybe something like doing something with family tonight? Here we go. I'm going to eat with my family tonight. Entonces, did you need every word? No, you just needed enough. Ejemplo número 2. Okay, get ready to apply los pasos de nuevo. Después de trabajo necesito ir a la tienda. That was longer, more connectors, harder to track. But what did you catch? Maybe trabajo? Necesito? Tienda? What's the message probably about? Something about needing to go to the store after work. Full meaning? After work, I need to go to the store. Notice what just happened. You stayed calm, you kept building, and most learners never reach that point. They never do that. Okay, ejemplo número 3. For this last example, it's gonna be a doozy for a beginner, but let's see what you can do. Load your 6 steps up one last time. Escucha. Mi amigo está casado porque trabajó mucho ayer. Lots going on, I know, but what did you catch? Maybe amigo, cansado, mucho, ayer? If you had to solve the puzzle, what would you say? A friend is tired because of something yesterday. La oración. My friend is tired because he worked a lot yesterday. Here's what I want you to see. Perhaps you didn't know that trabajó was past tense. It doesn't matter. You still got the message. That's the whole point. You don't need 100%. You need enough clues to solve the puzzle. And this is how you turn your weakness into advantage. But what if you didn't catch ayer? In other words, maybe you have no idea what ayer actually means. And like so many of us do in the beginning learning stages, you got stumped on it and it threw you completely off from solving the puzzle. You see, although ayer isn't a phrase, it's definitely a trigger word you probably use very often in English. And here's the thing, it will lead you to understanding that something is being talked about in the past. So here's something I think could be extremely beneficial. You have to learn how to use your weakness to your advantage. Mira esto.
¿Qué es palabra para miss en español? Echar de menos, ok. Un segundo. Un segundo, por favor. Notes. Echar de menos. Missing. Ok, gracias. Echar de menos.
The last one.
Palabra complicada un poquito.
Did you see what he did? He is making a list of phrases that are specific to him and his language journey. But that's not it. Check this out. You see how he didn't just write it down and that was it? He repeated the phrase a couple of times to lock it in. I want you to ask yourself something. How often are you locking in the words you practice after you finish your lesson on Duolingo? How often are you using the words your favorite app presents to you in a conversation? A real conversation. Real quick, if this method is clicking for you and you want a full beginner roadmap that builds this kind of listening muscle day by day, I want you to consider joining my upcoming Spanish Made Simple Challenge. It's a 5-day challenge for adult learners who don't just want motivation, but they want a real plan to confidently develop conversational fluency. So check out the link in the description to get registered today. Now, let's get back to the video. So here are the 5 mistakes killing this method. Now, of course, there's a good that comes along with the bad. The Wheel of Fortune method can be beneficial, but only if you don't sabotage it. So here are the 5 most common mistakes I see over and over. Mistake number 1, you stop the audio the second you miss a word. And then what do? You want to run it back to see if you can hear one specific word. Now, as much as it pains you to not have the full idea, just know every pause breaks your brain's ability to predict. Mistake number 2, you translate too early. Let's be honest here, translating kills listening. You have to catch clues first and translate last. Mistake number 3, you throw away the clues you did catch. Mira, most learners hear more than they think. They just don't trust what they hear. You have to learn to trust your gut. Mistake numero 4. You use audio that's way too long. Now, I'll be the first to admit I was guilty of this as a beginner, but get this, you should only use 5 to 15-second clips in the beginning. That's it. Not an entire YouTube video, not an entire podcast episode, but tiny audio. These are how you get big wins under your belt. Mistake number 5, you expect instant perfection. The first time, it'll feel weird. On the 10th time, it starts feeling normal. But by the 50th time, this is just how you listen now. Escuchar bien no escuchar perfecto. Es usar bien las pistas. This is why some people study for years and still freeze, because nobody showed them the process. So as we begin to land the plane, here's your 5-minute daily drill. Minute 1, listen to one short clip. Minute 2, say the clues out loud. Minute 3, predict the message. Minute 4, listen again to confirm. Minute 5, check the transcript. Repeat the sentence out loud, 3 clips a day, 15 minutes total. 2 weeks in, your listening is a different thing. But here's what I really want you to take from this video. Stop seeing yourself as someone who just can't understand Spanish. You're not bad at listening, you were just never taught how to listen. This method turns you into a problem solver. Catch those clues, you build meaning, you solve the message. That's a skill, and skills get better with practice. 6 steps, 3 moves underneath them. Catch, predict, confirm. One mindset. Es todo. You don't need every word. You need the right ones. I always like to leave you with a Pro-Faith Power Tip, and today's Pro-Faith Power Tip is this. The goal isn't to hear everything perfectly. The goal is to hear enough to stay in the conversation. That's what strong listeners do. Catch what they can, stay calm, and keep building. That's the Wheel of Fortune method. If this video helped you, drop the comment, "I'm catching clues," below. And if you're ready to get started with your Spanish language journey, click the Spanish Made Simple challenge below. Now, if you're having an issue with spoken Spanish and not being able to hear it and understand what's being said, I want you to click right here on this video and I'll see you over there. Soy Profe Don Omar, your guide on how to speak Spanish now. Nos vemos.